fireside chat, Mbawula chat. We've got Bulelani Balabala, who's going to facilitate that. And we've got our trailblazer, DJ Sbu in the building. So I'm gonna, well, they're already coming on stage. Already on stage. Good, my brother. All right, so I'm gonna hand over to DJ Sbu and Bulelani. Kuparaba shapeling matsoho, guys.
I almost thought Sbu was trying to help me up, and I looked at his weight and mine, and I thought, there's gonna be a public liability lawsuit here. Thank you guys. I think for spending the morning with us up until this particular segment of the day. This is called the Mbawula chat. The Mbawula chat is the sort of finale chat for the day, where we profile an entrepreneur, legendary entrepreneur who's done extremely well over the years in various spaces and various industries and businesses. And we present it as an inspirational segment so that from everything you've learned, that's practical learning from Lebu, everything you've learned from Marang that you will be applying on Monday, you get the chutzpah, the motivation, the inspiration to be able to say, here's someone who looks exactly like me, who's built things, multiple things, products, and who continues to build them. And I've got the, let me get the inspiration and the credit to go back and build mine. So I think for this particular, workshop, we thought, who better than to bring, because I think Olieven is one of the neglected communities, in my view, from a sort of workshopping, activations, or any engagement. So I think from our engagement with some of the entrepreneurs we've worked with from here, we thought, who best to bring than someone who really inspires and someone who epitomizes township entrepreneurship in a sense. And I think someone I've known for a number of years, the co-founder of Mofaya Beverages, Vandal, Sbusiso Leope Education Foundation that has, traveled from different high schools across the country, been able to inspire over 200,000, actually a little bit more than that, of these amazing young guys. And I think it's always such a heartwarming thing when I run into some of these young people that Grotman has helped to get bursaries. They are working now. Some of them are employed. Some of them are married even now. And I think it's such a heartwarming thing to have seen the gift that has continued to consistently give in various forms, all the way from Leadership 20, all the way from the Hustlers Corner, all the way from Sunday Circle, and all the way from, everything you've done to inspire. So let's give a round of applause as we start our conversation and chat with Mr. Sbusiso Leope, popularly known as DJ Sbu. I know a very weird question, right? But tell us about who you are and where you are from.
Dumelang le kae sanibonani nami ngikhona ngiyabonga ukuthola ishansi yokuzovakasha namhlanje. I would like to thank Bulelani for the invite. I'm very humbled, and I would like to appreciate all the other business people that are here, my people that we're sharing the panel with, and other entrepreneurs that came on stage. And I think more importantly, we want to thank Corporate South Africa for coming on board. Big up to Nedbank. You have to give them a round of applause. I can't only thank Nedbank. I think it's Nedbank. I think it's this venue as well. Give it up to R55 Chill Out. Thank you. Appreciate it. And every other sponsor, but more especially the entrepreneurs that are here to showcase their products. How beautiful is it though? The language is getting louder of entrepreneurship in the country, and it's a beautiful thing. At least now, as sapatwanga is tuktes, sesibaningi or sibabaningi mindset yashintsha. Ngipumethembisa mina, same township he comes from. I've come from a township, an area called Iwelamlambo. Grew up there for a couple of years, and then I lived in an area called Hospital View, which is next to Sbedlela, Tembisa. The dynamics of any township are similar in South Africa. You know, somebody who's not from the township or who might not be familiar with the township life might just look at us and just paint us with a blanket and say, this is a township. But it's even in the township itself, it's different, right? So in the township, khona abahlali emini, khona abahlali emaforumini, khona abahlali ema-hospital view walapho, or ema-Kloof extension, or whatever you want to call it, right? And even us ourselves, in poverty that we grow up in, even though Nasakula don't even recognize poverty because it's all we know, right? It's only now that says kulile, we're like, yo, markhale re pandile, pela rona ne re khola re hlapela ka mora Vascom, you know. I-toilet being ngaphandle, sometimes sesemncane usaba no get toilet kumnyama ebusuku, you know. Street lights, and just all the way to growing up and seeing what Tembisa has become, where I come from. The only thing that I can only think of is, what is it that I do, or what programs do I do to give back or to empower another younger Sbu who's out there, us, you know? But I've really been blessed. I've had an incredible journey. It's been a beautiful journey of getting into the entertainment business through radio. I started on community radio. I started on campus radio. I got into a talent search competition, got into YFM, moved on, joined an agency, started doing TV commercials. From starring in commercials, I started acting. I did Abo Yizo, Abo Gazlam, Indangazam, they would know. I'm at 2000, I was good to Yizo, but yeah. And then from there, just, you know, started asking for TV jobs, got a couple of TV jobs that really opened doors for me. And I also eventually got onto YFM, which eventually opened bigger doors for me. And I went on to Cozy FM, Metro FM, is when I fell in love with entrepreneurship through a feature that I had on the show, calling entrepreneurs to come and share on the show, like very successful entrepreneurs. It was impossible for you to not be inspired, sitting in front of people that are very well accomplished. And there I wasn't even calling people who were coming up. I was calling like very, very solid entrepreneurs, like older guys who've walked the journey. And their stories, a lot of their stories are extremely, extremely inspiring. You know, what we see in Amanje, we see how they're living and how they smell good and the beautiful homes they live in. But once they start opening up, you start seeing them differently. You start respecting them even more. And if you look at a lot of these successful people, Bulelani will tell you, he interacts with a lot of them. I always say, you know, when you look at them directly straight into their eyes, you can see the scars that they've had to go through. You know, you can just see the difficulty, everything they've had to overcome. Even if they're smelling nice, they're wearing a beautiful suit. But yeah, that's what inspired me to get into entrepreneurship. And ultimately then from Metro FM, I lost my job at the SABC. I went on to start my own things. So I've been unemployed ever since.
You know, I think one of the hardest things for a lot of people is to consistently go out there and to pitch themselves in various industries. And I think you've been able to brave that, right? Develop the chutzpah to do that. And I think also in linking it up with this, you know, a conversation we had some time back, and you were telling me when you were an extra on Generations, and the director kept telling you not to look at the camera, and you kept looking at the camera. But what gave you the chutzpah in various industries to say, I'm not in this space, but I'm going to humble myself, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to brave, and I'm going to, you know, open up doors in various spaces?
People who understand the world and how it operates tell you about thoughts and just human beings, and they'll tell you about different dimensions that we live in. And we watch movies or we read books, and we hear of other people who speak about quantum leaping, people shape-shifting into another dimension of life, or living in the future and coming back and knowing what's going to happen. And those things sound crazy and amazing, right? But those are, and then you also get to read certain things and understand how energies work. With everything is energy, right? The bottle of water over there, that's energy. That camera over there, that light over there. And just the Wi-Fi that we're all connected on through our phones. Imagine if you could wear glasses that show you the Wi-Fi that's going on here. Imagine what you would be seeing, you know, those waves. And there's just a lot of things that we can't see, right? And it's all energy. So even when it comes to expressing myself, now that I'm getting old, I'm slowly starting to understand certain things differently. Ukuthi, it's all me just communicating my God-given talents, right? I can put together a radio show, I can put together a product, I can put together a TV show, I can put together a book, I can put together an album for music. Those are bodies of work, and those are just different ways in how one is expressing themselves. I can express myself on radio, can express myself through creating a product. There in my absence, it represents something. Even when I've passed on, you guys are forever gonna see this in the street corners of South Africa. Which means I'm living, I'm existing. Just like umuntu meshona, umzimba wake uzosala kodwa the spirit leaves the body, and they say we've got amadlozi to our ancestors, and they say when the spirit leaves that body, we'd call them our guardian angels. They're always with us. Even if my father has left us, may his soul rest in peace. But I believe wherever I am, he's with me. He can even hear when I speak to him, and those are just energies, right? So I kind of feel that I'm really blessed, and sometimes I always say to people, since my time or Rama Oledi, it's important the type of names that we give to our kids. I've literally lived up to my name. But I think from Mngane, my mom just drummed it into me. Sbusiso, you blessed, you're really blessed, Mtanamu. Sbusiso, you Sbusiso, Until today, I cannot believe that that's my role. I have to, impact other people's lives through the work that I do. So even if I create all these different things, how are they impacting society? A radio show, how does it impact society? A TV show, how does it impact society? Or Sunday Circle, or I create a company called Leadership 2020. How is it gonna impact society? How is it gonna change people's lives? If I'm creating a drink or I'm writing a book, how do I impact people's lives? So as I'm getting older, those are some of the things that I slowly get to understand. Wow, one has really been blessed to live in their creative space and just create. So I'm just a creator. I think names are just titles. Someone else can be a lawyer. Somebody else is a doctor. He's an engineer. When you meet people, they describe themselves by what they do. But then remove the titles. We're all human beings. And it's siyafana. We're all talented in different ways. But uNkulunkulu sinikezile sonke amatalente wethu ngendlela ehlukahlukene. So those talents and express our true purpose on this earth. And to pour out of me, whether I'm communicating through whatever channel, I cannot believe it's. So if you track back, if you've been following my work, it's the same. Wow, well, now I remember his radio show. Oh, I remember listening to him, and at some point I was so low in my life, and this is what he said. And wow, I remember his TV show. Oh, I remember I read one of his books, and every time I buy a can of Mofaya, this is what comes to my mind. Oh, I read his books. Oh, he once came to my school, and this is what he said. So these are all different things and different forms of communication through the talent that I have. And one will express themselves through all those different channels, right? But it's all purposeful work. So anything that is not purposeful, and it's an opportunity that's sitting on the table for me, those are some of the things that I'll have to critique. Like, how is it going to impact other children? Is it just going to be me making money? Is it just all about money? Type of thing, So that's how I think. So that's how I look at it now. But then, the younger me, now I'm a 43-year-old, I'm starting to become gray. The younger me was, I want to be number one. I want to become a millionaire. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay, I'm doing this now. It was just that drive, right? It was just that drive to want to succeed, I was saying to somebody, Bulelani, last week, if I were to start Mofaya right now, I would not do half of the things that I've done Mofaya. Sometimes nginokubheka ngithi umuntu bekasithatha isibinde singaka. Now I understand why abanye abantu bebangikhuza, abanye abantu bathuka, abanye abantu bangithuka, I'm sure a lot of you entrepreneurs can relate. People don't understand us. So only now I understand, because the older you become, the more reserved you become, the more you operate differently. Instead of working harder, you work smarter, and you would approach things differently. And as people grow up, generally, the kids have got bills to pay, they've got relationships in high places. So you can't just be memezing and just getting into an aeroplane and just being that disruptive. And I guess, sometimes one has to do what they have to do to create something that is not there and just get out of the little corner that they feel they're stuck at to make their dream come true. And those are some of the things that I've had to do. When he was introducing me, he spoke about Vandal, which was a t-shirt brand that I started with a friend of mine called Trevor Matondo, Trevor Ozungu. I know Trevor started Vandal. We made a lot of noise, Imagine if we didn't give up Vandal, how far it would be today. Imagine how big of a brand it would be today. But the last line that I said to that person last week was, Vandal had to fail for Mofaya to succeed.
Let's give that a round of applause. So, I think, I've seen the different transitions, not all of them, but the ones I'm privy to, right? And I think one of the ones that sort of peak out, I think because sales is the lifeline of every business, is I think at the point when you were introducing The Art of Hustling, which was your first book, how because at the time you had mentioned that it didn't pass going through traditional means, like your CNAs and the sort, it became a bestseller, selling over 25,000 copies before it went to CNA, selling in taverns. You make it seem sometimes so easy. Have you had low moments, and how have you dealt with some of these low moments to get to a point where you get the chutzpah and the krach to say, my book is not at a place where books are supposed to reside, but I'm gonna go and sell 25,000 copies in a space where we assume people don't want to read because they are there to drink alcohol. But they are the ones buying, to a point where it gets to over 25,000 copies before it's recognized by recognized establishments. So it almost seems too easy, but how do you deal with the challenges, and have you even experienced challenges?
Yeah, I think we all experience challenges in the house. And to add on to my earlier statement, I wanted to finish up that statement earlier when I was saying I did some of the things that I did that were crazy, or I was saying to you, if I were to start Mofaya now, I would do it differently. I wouldn't do some of the things that I did then, but they worked out then. My message is to young people to say, those are the people that change the world. Young people they don't have a lot to lose. Young people can scream more fire all day, and young people can disrupt and just knock doors and kick down doors and just do things that are not in ways that, that's not supposed to be done. That's not how we do this. But young people can. Young people are the ones that started the revolution back in 1976. Mark Zuckerberg changed the whole world. He created Facebook. He was still on campus. He was in his 20s. I was in my 20s when I created a record company called TS Records. I was in my early 30s when I created Mofaya. Young people are the ones that change the world. So if you're a young person here, it's your time. Your time is now. You mustn't wait to be given a responsibility, or you mustn't wait to be elected. Your time is now. Trust me when we say to you, your time is now. We're saying that knowing how many bills we have. We're saying that knowing what's we're saying this, guys, the package that we have, the older we become. When you are young, it's your time now. If you're wasting your time now just only partying every weekend, and there's nothing wrong with partying, you have to party. That's how you get to meet people. That's how you have to go out. That's how you have to experience life. But even the timing, don't just party in J, and your life is just all about partying. No, do things, be creative, express yourself, break boundaries, do things that other people because that's when we did our magic. And we're living the rest of our lives because of the magic we created when we were young. I'm living off of the DJ Sbusiso name. I last got a booking maybe 2 months ago. I used to get bookings every weekend because I don't live off of the DJing anymore. I live off of the name DJ Sbu. I get a call now, I make money. Or I get to go walk into a meeting, I do a business deal because I'm DJ Sbu. But that DJ Sbu was created by a young man who had chutzpah, who believed in himself, who didn't listen to anyone. They told him he couldn't do it. They told him his voice wasn't for radio. They told him he couldn't create a record label. There was just all these different boundaries all the way till today. No matter what you can do, people are always going to talk. Manje nginenchebe, nginenchebe trendai. Basakhuluma la namhlanje, you know what I mean? But sengijwayele. But I'm living off of the DJ Sbu name, right? Even namhlanje Bulelani invites me, puts the name DJ Sbu. That name is created by a young man in his youth. So what are you doing in your youth? Are you serving someone? Are you part of the SRC on campus? Are you part of ukungena lendawo leya la chill out uhlala uzwakala awufuni nesipana awufuni nokuthi bakhafe mara wabachayela or no ke tla thusa di case 20 di case MTD ake batle msebetsi or le mpatale na ke batlo luthusa ka mantswe mang ke le sebeletsa mara mahala mara wena you know what you're gaining experience out of it and you're gaining the owner relying on you. Wow, he's reliable. He's always here every Saturday on time when he's not at school. Sometimes he asks me for certain questions around business or around accounting or around numbers. He takes MTs and sometimes that's when it starts. That's what I'm teaching my daughter. Now I sell with my kid. My kid understands money. My kid understands words like saving, investing. My kid understands words like entrepreneurship, being a businesswoman when she's older. All those things is things that I'm drumming it into her head because I think we have to break that cycle and, you know, remove the stereotypes of how we were brought up with the mindset of professionals. And it's good to work. We all, some of us got degrees. It's true, asebondeni. Nokuthi nabakubuza abantu nohlangana nabo wenzani ukuthi no I am this. And shazi ufundile mntana abantu ne PhD. Mara nawuthi yabheka singabiza abanye abantwana ezinye idididi. Mara singisidididi. Ali nje sihamba ngeimoto because wenza construction ihasla lo muntu. Mara wena you thought ukuthi wena yazi degree yami izongisebenzela nawuthi yabheka. Yes yangisebenzela, I'm living a decent life. Mara ngiyababheka labantu laba ngithi banemali man white king ne. So what I'm trying to say is let's change that narrative. It's good to go and get educated, but also let's balance it with what Bulelani is doing, spreading the entrepreneurship culture in different townships, spreading that entrepreneurship culture into our children's lives. We all make mistakes, Bulelani. For me to succeed, I've had to make a lot of mistakes. I've just already spoken about the one mistake that we did, how we ran that brand, and how we could have done better. The fact that till today you still say Vandal, it's a brand. Imagine how far it would be if we never stopped. But the lessons that one learned from there had to move on and start other things. That's why there was about Massive Metro, about Homegrown, Manje, it's about Mofaya, Manje, we are podcasting, about Virtual Mkuku, right? We don't stop, we just keep going. But mistakes will happen, and that's how we learn. You fall, you know, you dust yourself up, you learn from other people, and you keep moving. But if you're afraid of making mistakes, then you won't succeed. If you're afraid of what people are going to say, then you're not going to succeed, because people are always going to talk. They're always going to talk. It doesn't stop. Last week, seba khohliwe, this week, seba gomunye. Lokade bamkhuluma ngabi, last week, seba hlangana naye, seba amjabulela, seba ceda isithombe. You know? So young people, go do your thing now, not tomorrow, now. Not Monday. I heard you say Monday. No, not Monday, now. Sure.
Now, and you know, what has been your, if I'd put it, what has been your highest moment in your career?
My highest moment in my career is when my daughter was born. But Swadi, are there any parents in the house? You guys can relate, right? Your first kid. When your first kid was born, it doesn't matter where you were in your life. Lehele hore no le muqhakanyetse or lehele hore no le motho tlalang strat bo chakatula, but when you first heard ukuthi they are giving birth and you have to be there, especially if you are there, if that doesn't change your life, then you're not a human being. So for me, that's the most joyous moment in my life, and it just changed the trajectory at where I was taking my life. And that's when I started thinking, like, wow, I'm doing well, I'm a DJ, like, am I forever gonna be in these clubs? Am I gonna get old in the, I wanna do this for when I want to, like now, whenever I wanna DJ, I DJ, but I don't have to because I have to pay the bills. I built other things, right? So I don't know, since I walked in here to now, it's been what, 15, 20 minutes? I don't know how many of these cans we've sold in that 20 minutes. Are you getting it? Right? So it was a changing moment in my life that it inspired me to go this direction, to think futuristic, to think when this little thing 20 years from today, what am I doing to ensure 20 years from today or 18 years from today, Nasaga Evava. Varsity right now, minimum 50 grand a month. Minimum 50K. Minimum. I'm not talking about transport or resi, kaolo. Kibuaka di school fees in Jafela ko vetera kapa ko ASE da Academy of Sound Engineering. I'm not even talking about real universities or whatever. Universities as if others are not real university. Please don't misquote me on this one. I'm saying there's varsities that are even more expensive than that. Some of you guys who've got MBAs, you know how expensive it is just to do an MBA. When I was pursuing mine a few years ago, the bill was like between 300,000 to 500,000 rands. I don't know now. And some institutions, an MBA is an equivalent of 1 million rands. So, you know, when my child was born, that's when was the joyous moment of my life in a positive way. It changed my life. It made me think differently. It made me think about the future. It made me want to build a future for her. I was already worried. What is it that I have that even if I die tomorrow, I can leave it behind? Not in Tulikoloi. That's koloto li teng. Shemre shaba na barona le skoloto li netbank. It's a netbank swala starro. You can't leave them ka dilo tsa netbank. And then khona banyo ba kolota endlini abazi ngabo. Sebazokokota 3 weeks after umngcwabo bese siniyekeleni kancane enikhale yazi. Hey, bekasikolota. Do you know what I mean, guys? We can't keep on repeating this thing. It has to change and it stops now. And I vowed with myself, Bulelani, and I was like, ayazin, nyahamba manje nyoyenzi movie. Nyoyenzi movie, and agekho umuntu ozongivimba because le movie enyoyenza, nyoyenzela incosi zami. Le ncosi le yokuqala. Ke ngwana wa mathomo. Mara wabona ona shwana nkilo tuna print, kilo ba kena. That was my attitude. I said that 8 years ago, 8 years later today, you know, and as it grows, I mean, when you are in it, you don't see it, right? Nowadays, I get people who are like, wow, bro, like, I'm seeing your brand in Messina. People are telling you, oh, I was in Olievenhoutbosch. It's people drinking your brand, and it's like, it's things that in my mind, I used to say to people, it seemed like I was crazy. I used to say, and you know how it is as entrepreneurs. I was like, because sometimes when I look at chance, is it really going to be paid, this thing? And you know? And that's how you start. You don't wait for the right moment to start or wait for your product to be perfect to start, but you try with the little that you have and the connections that you have to create the most product. Your content has to be good, whatever it is that you can afford at that time. Like if you look at those products right now, imagine how far those people are going to be when we sit down with them in 2030. Right now it's 2022. Imagine those entrepreneurs 8 years from today in 2030. So they're the ones that are starting now, they are me 8 years ago. Imagine them in 2030. They'll be sitting here. And a version of sitting here is a different environment. Imagine how chill out is going to be in 2030. Or this type of an environment. Imagine how it's going to be. So imagine you're saying something, 2030 seems far, right? I'm saying you're in 2030. But yes, this brand is 8 years old. That's 8 years ago. So now into 2030 from today, I walked in and I saw a brand called Tosh outside. She's got her own detergent product. So there she is. Hello. Congratulations, my sister. Yeah. So those are joyous moments for me to see you guys succeed. But the most joyous moment was when my daughter was born, but I'm living in it. Because all I wanted to do was just start a business. But now, you know, you get told you're an inspiration, you get invited all over, you get offered money, you get offered opportunities. Opportunities come because you've worked hard to become that person that the opportunities come to. Remember, guys, it's not external, it's internal, right? You work on this person, not outwards, inwards. This is the person you should blame. This is the person you should hold accountable. This is the person you should make sure they are responsible of every decision they make. This is the person you should work on. This is the person. If you work on this person, if you read the books, if you work on the body, if you work on what you put inside this person, work on this person, it's inwards, right? The more you work on this person, the more better this person is becoming, their own level, and not level according to society. Good, so pasile, you're in this grade, so pasile. No, the more you work on yourself, no one is monitoring you. Good, now you're becoming better, now you're becoming smarter. You're not aware. You just keep reading books. You just keep doing things. You just keep doing things, and you just keep getting better. You just keep getting better. You just keep getting better. You just keep getting, you're not even aware because you are within yourself, right? The better you become now when you are there. Like now in my case, is now, DJ Sbu, you know? It's like, you know, people give you things now. People pay for you to come to places. People offer you opportunities. You say no to opportunities, right? And then now you look at what the baby that you've built and what it's becoming. Sometimes it's scary in a beautiful way. Wow. You know, Naslala was pure string office in sometimes like, yo, Matala, I'm a you know? You know, we tell each other like, I'm so proud of you, bro. Like, I'm so proud of you, bro. We built $1 billion business, a Stratin, Matala. Stratin, boy. And it's possible for anyone in this house. Thank you.
Now, you know, one of the things, right, that sort of comes to mind, and I'm going to break out of the sequence of the questions I sort of prepared, is the selflessness, right? And I think, how did you get to a point where you broke out of your own personal insecurities? And I ask this because having done work, you know, together over 9 years or so many people, you know, and I think I always found it strange how you were so open to helping people. You know, I remember years back when Theo came with Batu, Mara, there was some glue not well there. It was like, this is Batu, this is going to be the next best what. You must feature him there on T, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, so many different guys, Robot Boy, and just see there's tons, man. And I'd mention all of them because I've firsthand experienced and visualized so many of these successful brands, and there's tons. Right, that you've selflessly said, I'm going to push you guys, don't give me anything. I'm going to push you guys and put you on. And every time I think of putting someone on, I always think of it's going to take away from me. You know, anytime we sort of think of helping someone else, we think, if I give someone else the shine, it's going to take away from my shine. And then we hold back from helping or plugging people. You know, how then did you get out of that personal insecurity? Because I think the moment we are able to work out of that, the moment we are able to work out of that, then that's when I'm going to have the craft to say, I'll post all these exhibitors. If there are 300 people here, 300 people posting 300 exhibitors, you know, you can imagine how much traction Tosh is going to get and whoever, but you've given that freely to other people and said, go out there and win. And most of them have won.
Thank you. Isn't it what it's supposed to be? Isn't it how it's supposed to be? Right? And for me, I'm blessed enough to have realized it from an early age to do that. Use my radio airtime to do that from back in the day, and use my, call it celebrity, if you may, for lack of a better word, to, you know, put a light on other kids' hustle, right? Because I cannot believe, you know, it's, the principles, guys, are in the good book. B-O-O-K, like, but in B-I-B-L-E, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Like, the instructions are in the big book, the good book, guys. You know, it's just living it. Even if it doesn't come tenfold towards you, your kids. Do you want to mean ukuthi ngose yami nangizobhoda fadak izopheka ukhona? You know? It can't be. And even if you don't do nothing about it, the universe will, uNkulunkulu will. Because of what the dad used to do, of what the dad lived for. Right? We choose our struggles. We choose our causes. We choose what to stand for. If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything. What do you stand for? What are you about? Who are you? Right? So my struggles are just that. I vowed with myself, I'll remain who I am for the rest of my life. I'll just remain out here sekasi, out here stratini, you know? When people I meet them, people have never seen me from above, so they've never met me. Ah, you are when smoother. Ah, Maria's when. What's that, man? Some of them, sometimes I remind them, you know? Oh, yeah, man, I was meet. Oh, yeah, sorry. No, it's okay. But that's how it has to be. It has to be like that. We have to live like that. Guys, we understand that none of us is a winner until we all are. Netbank realizes that. They can be Netbank all they want, but they are Netbank because of their clients. They are Netbank because of the community. Our communities make us who we are. So we get blessed, we get these blessings, we move from the communities that we're brought up from. We go hide ourselves in those beautiful, suburbs with high fences and security guards. We get out of there, we get into beautiful cars, straight to the airport, we're out of the country. We post those pictures on social media, we show people the countries we're traveling. We come back into the country, we take our kids to the best places. Nobody sees you, nobody meets you, nobody learns nothing from you. Because all you share on social media is your beautiful life. But what about where you come from? What about the responsibility of you being one of us? Like, I thought you were one of us. You grew up in these streets. Why is it that now when you're in parliament, you've forgotten that? And then, just do you know what I mean? Now in the suburbs, you don't even know who your neighbor is. Actually, you don't even want to know your neighbor. So we all have responsibility. Any of us that gets lifted up high, you've got a calling, you've got a responsibility to give back. We're not forcing you to, and we're not expecting you to. And when you do give back, don't expect a thank you. Give back. I remember I used to say that all the time, like when money is your motive, you'll always be lacking. But when purpose is rooted in service. He's serving, because I know that he's been doing this for many years, and he doesn't make money out of this. Bulalan, I know that very well, because he learned this from me, and we never made money out of this. And he'll tell you, it's easy for you to think Netbank, yo, Bulelanda Pokon show 24 million. Trust me, after he's paid his bills, he probably has debt even on top of that. But he's serving. This is service. I served all those years. I don't know, I'm a blessings, but I already feel that I'm living a very blessed life. The fact that I've lived long enough to see the age that I am in, the fact that I'm alive, my mother is healthy and well, the fact that everything I'm growing and I'm putting my time and energies to all these things that are growing, that's a big blessing. The fact that our business is growing, that the biggest of all my ventures is where it is. Blessings, and I know where they're coming from because of Lespanning is Shire. And even the purpose of that also is even to take that wealth and give it back structurally so that it continues to help even kids who are not born yet today in my township, in my community. So what are you doing in your community? Who are you pulling along? Which kid are you mentoring? Who are you helping out? You know? And those are the questions that I'll leave you with. But for me, that's what I realized from an early age. And I think that's how I've been blessed. From even in the music industry days, when in my 20s, I was inspired by a gentleman called Kabzela. May his soul rest in peace. He used to be a DJ at YFM, inspired by DJ Fresh. He was working at YFM, and DJ Fresh used to do a lot of work at the time through the DJ Fresh Foundation. Kabzela used to do a lot of good work using the radio airtime that he had, and just his amazing total prowess that he had. He was just such an amazing DJ. You'd swear he was a comedian, you know? And those are the people that for me in my eyes were like so amazing, and I modeled my career around because they were giving, but in the entertainment space. And for me, being saying to Anna, being like, wow, a DJ that gives back. You know, you used to, Abantu Bati, they give back, they are rich. But these guys are just DJs and they're already giving back. And I guess that's what I also became to other people. A DJ that gives back inspires other people to do the same. So then I continued like that. As my career grew, you know, formalized my giving back through the foundation. That's where I met you, speaking at schools. Moved on, started Leadership 2020, the work we've been doing. And just all the way till today, it's just giving back. The cause is our people. I love black people so much, bro. Like, I love people. Like, I've really been blessed also. I'm good with people. So everything that I do, man, I'm just, so let's all think like that. Like, what is it that I'm doing that is making an impact in my community and making a difference somehow?
Let's give them a round of applause. And I think before I ask these questions, interestingly enough, he was the one who actually told me to start tea. Because I went to him, I was like, no, listen, I've got an idea. It was a close house, we're having a braai. He was like, no, start. If you start, we'll support you. And he always has throughout all the years. And I remember as we're doing the work we were doing, he'd post on Instagram, but I didn't have an Instagram account. And it was like, but daughter, I'm posting you on Instagram, where will people find you? We sat that night and he created my first Instagram account, which I still use today, right? But
you and Chub. When he first came out of prison, I was like, today he's got more followers than me.
But there is this, the stuff that you used to say that inspired a lot of us as entrepreneurs. And I think as you're sort of talking about, you're getting older, you're getting more reserved, where are your thoughts around, stuff that you used to say around, do first, apologize later, you can't stop my goal,
It's still the same, but it's on a high level, right? You need to remember, then, billionaires move differently. It's a beautiful joke, right? And yeah, you do the same, but it's on a high level and you move differently. But because of what you're affiliated with, you've got a lot to lose, right? You've got a lot to lose. That's why most successful people, the bigger they become, they're very careful with every little thing they get involved in. Just 6ix9ine, just who they move with, just like, I think about it first before I just go and do it, right? And same example I was making earlier about when your child is born, immediately changes your life instantly. You don't want to think the way you used to think until like the day before you had heard that your child is born. Once your child is born, but also, as you get blessed and things change and things that you're growing, and also you are, I don't want to say you are leading, if like I'm some leader of some sort, but it's doing it differently. You're still doing the same. You're still disruptive. You're still disruptive. No. I think I'm trying to say. I don't know if those who get it. What I'm trying to say. You still are disruptive. You're still shaking the corporate spaces, but in the right way, right? I can't do the same thing that I was doing then. I'm doing it on a higher level now. Because now with your own, I was talking about it earlier, your personal development, you grow. When you grow, you know better, you do better. And even if you do better, you can do what you used to do even more radical or more disruptive than before, but in a smarter way. You might look like you're not doing or you're not being as disruptive anymore, But I guess we've got that responsibility because we are in a system that we all know how it is. So you have to find ways, find loopholes. Like there's a lot of intelligent people who understand the South African Constitution, or understand the law. They understand it so well, and this is my message to all the entrepreneurs that are here. In your industry, you have to understand the regulations, the rules, and the regulate. That's why every industry has got its own governing body, or some sort of a regulatory body, or institute that governs your industry. You have to understand it. If you don't understand it, how are you going to beat it? There's people who understand it so good that they find loopholes. And they keep on making more millions, more billions, quietly, nje, because they understand it. And because they understand it, they are disruptive in their own way because they find loopholes in the law and it works for their advantage. Now, whether when it works for them, they do good with it or bad, I don't know. And it's none of my business. But I do know there's a lot of people who do that. So if you're an entrepreneur in the house, education is very important because then it arms you with the ability to be able to understand government, understand politics, understand regulation, understand policy that governs your industry, understand your industry. If you understand the rules, the regulations, the law that governs your industry, you'll understand which people to get on your team with which or what type of brains or what type of expertise to help you maneuver around these governmental regulatory loopholes to put yourself or your company in a better position. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. And then just my last question, then we'll open up for questions and then we'll break for lunch and continue networking, right? How, you've dealt with billionaires, you've shared stages with amazing, amazing people, right? You've engaged and you continue to do business with amazing people. How do you deal with, do you still suffer from imposter syndrome, where you get into rooms and into spaces with presidents, with world leaders, with global leaders, and you pinch yourself, and how do we even need to deal with that or work around that, or is it something that you just continue to navigate each and every day? Because sometimes we feel like, access space samly, it's not bad. Khona abanye abantu who feel like sizela sizokhapha abanye. Khona abanye abacabanga ukuthi no, the ones who are successful yibo bayazana, they deserve to be, but I don't.
It goes back to the joke that I said earlier, right? When I was saying snemal, right? Marinate on that a bit. So you deserve it better than they do. That should be an attitude. Because if you had that money, you could be doing better things. Nangethi titi tesnemal, nangethi usibhekile. Ibhili yaso 800,000 echwaleni. Titi tesnemal. Singayenzani ngale 800? Yes, imali yakhe ngeke umtshela yenzeni ngaso, but when you could do better. Right? So yes, you deserve to be in those spaces. You deserve it even more than everybody else does. Guys, go Mbangen. Guys, go to Nigeria. Go to Tanzania. Go to Zimbabwe. Go to Zambia. Go to Ghana. Guys, go make those dollars. Go to the DRC. Get into mining. Get into bigger businesses. Guys, we are here. Lezinto ezethu. Azenzelwanga abantu abangcono or batho ba better than rona. Why ba le better than rona? Nobody's better than you. I said to you, not external. Internal. You are you. Unkulunkulu said you are made in his image. Unkulunkulu wako wena. So ayikho indawo ongabelongi kuyo. Hamba uyoyikhahlela yonke le minyango because that's where you belong. You belong to be with all of those people. Why do you think they're better than you? They are not better. I'm teaching me now how I live my life and how I'm walking my journey. I posted a video the other day. I think I was going to have a meeting with one of my clients in Durban. A reception, overall, Mofaya. Overall. So, and then I posted there, go to Joe. I think I'm a meeting in my boardroom, ngama local brands, ngama overall, ngama bomu. Why am I saying that? Lento siyenza ngama bomu. We're intentional about what we're doing, and we have to be. Uguti, it's our time, guys, and it's us. It's us who are now where we are, but it's not yours, that position that you're in. You are representing a whole sea of people that are following you. Please remember that you belong in these spaces. You belong with the presidents. You belong with the kings. You belong to be closing billion-dollar deals. You are a dollar billionaire. That's how you should see yourself. How long have I been saying I'm a billionaire? For many years. You say it so much so that you end up becoming it. And when you become it, it's like, it's not fascinating. Like, it's just normal, you know? Understand? But that should be your mindset. But then again, for younger entrepreneurs, know the system and work it right. So if you want to Sbu atuzongena ma meeting in overall, I'm not saying you must go do the same. You're still building yourself. Sometimes you have to play the game. You're still building yourself. Melu dlale smart phela lento lo. Ihambelana idesigniwe. Yes, according to who, but okwamanje you must toe their line. Usakeleza, usavangis. There will come a time now again uzofila ukuthi okay, yeah, man. How? Maruwa manje idlale lento game. Ungayeki idlale ne baslem na uyidlala because I game lento le. Na idlala izokubhayizisa idlale. Bulelani, you belong to be doing these things all over the continent. You belong with presidents and kings. You should be closing. I was sitting with Tutuzani the other day. He was just telling us about some of the amazing things they're doing in Dubai. And he was telling us about some of the great opportunities when his father was a president in his first term. Some of the things that he would meet awesome people from Abuma UAE. Things that they would say, actually they can build those things even now, like, and just things that they're up to. Guys, we're not only just supposed to be doing small things. Tina, we're only just supposed to be selling t-shirts. We only just, yes, it's good, that's where we start, that's where we learn the skill. But we belong all the way up to the best of them. Now, next. If you can see Ibo got the Guabo Baba Babo, Nabo Mama Babo, Ababavulela ma channel with Babela Baba Kono, got an Abazal Babo, as long as Baba and Abamyama, Basoko lead. So they've got their own stories to tell. You belong all the way up there with the best of them, with the rest of them, because you are that great. You are that awesome. You are amazing. Guys, you can conquer any door. You can close any deals. Your time now. Go open those doors and go help as many people as possible.
Let's give him a round of applause. Are you guys enjoying the conversation? You know, post what you're learning on social media, hashtag join us for tea, hashtag together, Beke. So I'm not going to take 5 questions, then Sbu will take over. Then we announce the winner of the 50,000. Then we take it from there. Questions? The gentleman there, the gentleman there, the gentleman there, the lady there. I need a lady. Yes, I need a lady. I can't have one lady. You're not a lady. I'm every woman. No. Oh, label, okay. Okay. Take the lady there. Maybe let me start with the gent. Nah?
Mogat. I remember Mogat. Yes, congratulations, bro. You're still around. I haven't seen you in a while.
Thank you.
I remember this brand.
Thank you, brother. First of all, I'd like to tell you how much I appreciate you, bro. The name Mogat actually is my son's name, Mohau. And I was selling yogurts, and it's how Mogat came into about. And the whole brand is actually inspired by you. You are the founder of what this idea was. And from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to thank you, brother.
Thank you.
My question is to you, with all the success that you have accomplished, how do you stay grounded and not get overwhelmed by it and not lose yourself within the whole host of success and love that you get?
I think, first of all, congratulations to you. Guys, give him a lot of, a big congratulations. That's beautiful. It's beautiful to see you still going. I haven't seen him in a while. I used to promote small businesses on Saturdays on Twitter with the hashtag. I lost my Twitter account. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I haven't been on Twitter in a while. So I haven't seen your work in a while. And to see you, bro, I'm just so proud of you. Congratulations. Keep going. Yeah, keep going. It's a beautiful space, but it's very challenging. But you're going to win. You know, if you're still around till today, it means you've got consistency. Just keep going. But thank you. I think we kokobetso man. Ukwazi uNkulunkulu, you know? Botho man. Botho. Yeah, botho whatever. And for me, that's what keeps me going, you know? My mom always reminds me, you know? Yeah, so I always have to keep it humble. And it's For me, it's not an act. It's just me. You know, yeah. And the older I am, the more I prefer simple things, you know. Simple things, and I understand the value of money. I understand hard work, and I understand what a lot of things mean, and I speak differently. And just how I move is just to embrace and empower and encourage and inspire people. And that's what keeps me going. And I think once you are about people, whether you like it or not, man, it's impossible to become an arrogant person who's unapproachable. So yeah, we keep it humble because that's who we are. That's what us, you know? Sure.
Dumela kaofela. Letona la ka dumela.
Dumela butaka, sure.
Eish. I'm kind of put this, it's a kind of statement, but mixed with a caution inside. I just want to thank you for the men that you have built in me. From the day I started following you, it's when you got fired at Metro FM. And that's where you were trending that DJ Sbusiso is fired. By then I was still at high school, I think in my grade 10, if I'm not mistaken. Now I'm a teacher, a qualified teacher. I'm a businessman. I know I'm just 24 years, but I call myself a man because I became a man the time Isirofatso was born, and that's my daughter. You motivated me to be in streets, to sell. I'm a teacher. I'm teaching at Olieven secondary school. To impress anybody here, I'm still doing that. I get in my dirty clothes, cabbage, ditamati, and whatever, because that's what made me the person that I am today. But through you, if it wasn't because of you, Mr. DJ Sbu, I wouldn't be this person. So I want to talk to everybody. Northwest, some place maybe it's a debate. I was with my father just now. We're running a business together. So I'm phone it's about him. I wrote and that's when he left. You pushed me to awaken the sleeping in my father. That Papa, you know what? Through this man we can do this. You motivated me to be this man today. I'm a history and life science teacher at school. Heki Bwakabo Mohammed Gaddafi. I capture you in their role. Heki Bwakabo Julius Nyerere. I capture you in their role. Now when I speak of Julius Malema, I capture you in his role. Not in a politician role, but because you believe in black leadership. I'm not part of the politics, but because you belong to Malema somehow. I don't know how. So my question is, out of so much hatred that you received from people, out of so much disappointments, how did you pull it through? How did there are people here that are sitting here that are also they're also hated in their communities where they come from, and this starts from the families. But I want you to tell them that, guys, it's possible. But we want to know, how did you pull it out? Today we drink Mofaya everywhere. Raba, Lamasi, Khuriri, on us because of this thing. So how? Can I just... Thank you. Guys, we are blessed.
Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate it, you know. I think we all go through it. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. I really appreciate the sentiments. And for you to be 24 years old and have your degree and be teaching. Remember, teaching is a service job. So you're serving already. Big up for serving. But you can't stop the hustle. Big up for also selling, you know. I think everyone here, experiences what you would call hate. You know, hate or rumor or doubt or, you know, it starts small in your community and it just keeps growing and growing and multiplying. Those voices that are either resisting what you're about or oppose what you're... But I mean, for people like me, I mean, it's normal. It's just that in the social media, there's just more of it. But it's the same thing, beba, boy experience high school. It's the same thing, boy experience varsity. It's the same thing, boy experience kaslako, you know. It's still the same thing. It's just now in a form of people typing, you know. But let me tell you the beauty of it in the form of people typing. Those are called, now let's talk about the virtual world. The hating is normal, like all of us here, we are hated somehow, like it's a little one. But let's talk about the virtual one. So, why because he understands this concept. They hate virtually. What people do, what people do is they expose what is going through their own mind with what they're typing. It doesn't matter what the subject is. The subject might be Cyril Ramaphosa today, or tomorrow the subject might be Sbusiso, or the other day might be Bonang, or the other day might be Uncle Waffles, might be. But what people do is they are exposing what is in their mind. Type. So because you understand that concept, when they're hating on you, because now when you're online, but when you're online for your own reasons, I need to pour out positivity or to promote your products or to do whatever you gotta do, which is your mission, which is positive. So when you experience that hate online, number one, by the way, guys, number one, mentally you have to be strong, because mentally you're not strong. All those things, when you read them, you're going to internalize them and personalize them. Then they're going to hurt you. It doesn't matter, there can be 1,000 people giving you props, only strong in God. Then you know who you are, right? So you don't need any external validation, or you don't need anyone to say anything. Whatever they say doesn't matter, because you know whose you are and who you are. So it doesn't matter. So what do? Those I call them up and downs. Those conversations, the hate that happens, those are called engagements online. That's your money, bro. That's your money. Find a way to take that noise, and the same way when people say, take the hate and channel it into propelling yourself upwards, motivate yourself through that hatred or that negativity. That concept online, what you do with it is, as it comes, use the engagements either to channel, you've also I want to own my narrative. It means everybody's saying this about you, but when you come out, then you're saying, and then they'll say maybe in the papers, Smang Mang finally speaks out. It means now you've got a chance to change the narrative. Going to change it too. So me, when I'm trending or whatever about my job, let me make you an example. When I say Casper masters this, he understands what, okay, Hazwagala. Whatever anyway, he understands that. He understands who he is. He's going to take that and channel it to something. So, Mina, if because trend was a trend and man, the same people got the bakuluma ngabe last week. Namhlanje sebakhuluma ngabo omunye umuntu kusasa bahlangana nawo bazokunikeza ihag. Hayi ukuthi they really hate you. It's just an online thing. Baqhaza yilowo mdumo. That's why if abantu nabangavumbuka babaleka, it's a mental thing. When I find a way to channel what you would call hate to your benefit. How you do it, you'll see when. How I do it, it depends what you push on at that time. Okay, Mofaya push on every day. So if you can anything, especially in push that week, I'll channel the noise depending on what it is. Nowadays, later, because I become older, a lot of that noise, what I do is I channel it to education. So I'll channel it to a teachable moment. So if I'm trending for hugging trees, I channel that energy towards education. And then it ends up being, this is what he was talking about. Oh, wow. I didn't know that I didn't know that trees were alive. I didn't. Because then it became a teachable moment, and then people learned out of that entire noise. It's up to you to be like, crawl into some little corner. No, don't. Batuba batama limudumo. That day is just that you are the victim or you are the victor. It's up to you. So, runache, because we understand it, we are always victors. Okay, because it's not like we go out of our way to get it. Then going out of your way, other people do that. They call it cloud chasing. It's not a good thing. But you can't go out of your way to get that type of an attention. But when it comes your way, we get it on total how. Find a way to deal with it. That's why businesses or intelligent business people, they would either do a press conference or they would do an official statement, to own the narrative or to channel that energy somewhere. So I'm trying to teach you from today, when that noise comes, don't internalize it and take it personal and think about Lawyer. It's what they do to everyone, even to the most person that they love. They will do it to this. Today, if you can go to your phone, it's happening to someone. It's just I haven't been on Twitter for a long time. I'm not even on, I don't know now, but peace come on. So when it comes to, have you guys seen people who launch their careers out of trending ones? There's so many. What do? They used it positively to springboard their careers. So it's not a negative thing. It's the same thing of Tinagu music industry always say, or hit December. We all make good music as musicians every year. But sometimes Sister Bettina becomes the most biggest song of the century, But it doesn't mean with the studio that song was a better song than Remember When It Rained, for instance, right? But it was a big song, So in that December time, khona ozonqamula unyaka, sazi ubani, mara uzoba khona la. Or ukhona ozoyenza hits. It's just that asazi ukuthi kuzoba ubani. So sifundise uhlale ready. So I always say when I speak to entrepreneurs, stay ready. Stay ready. You always gotta stay ready. Because you might never know, you might trend today. When you trend today, that's the opportunity you've been looking for in everything you've been working hard for. It's that moment. The basic trending means everyone's eyes are on you now. What are you gonna do with it?
Molweni. Okay, mna ayo question because the questions ninzi ne. Ibenza icela phof ubulelani. Now we're next to you because this thing it's about ilendo esiyenzayo. There's imarket eso esiyenzayo emaboning ne. Now I've been trying to get indlela to get to you. And Mr. Bulelani, last week, last time, Mr. Bulelani, I asked, okay, how do we meet up no DJ Sbu? Oh, number one, I would like to thank you for Msebenzi Wenzayo. We are see Kutaza Kakulu. And I've been following you because I noticed what you are fighting for. It's the same thing that I want. I want to make sure that entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs of body space whereby they will show off and showcase their products and stuff. But now I've been asking myself, how am I going to do it? On your podcast, I saw Bulelani. And I was like, no man, this is smoke, whatever they are smoking. But most are people who are coming from different provinces, coming with a vision of, okay, I'm going to Johannesburg, I'm going to the city to make it, I'm going to make connections. But when they get there, they do not get that. And they become frustrated. At the moment you become frustrated, you start doing drugs. You start abusing alcohol. So we've decided if we can have a space, I've already got a space whereby it's an open space, whereby we're going to do a market, we're going to do a podcast, whereby they'll be doing e-pitches. So we want to give them something to do on weekends. Once in a weekend, okay, let's come together, who's doing what, so that we can work together. Because if, let's say, I do printing and printing, when you get to Mabuning, there are a lot of guys who are pushing their brands. And Maslangana, actually, they do not know, okay, this guy is pushing printing and printing. But if we call them, one for that networking session that we always do, you network Nias Bana Indoni. So by that we are changing that thing as Yabantu who are just there for entertainment. We are changing that to Indoni e-business. They should do whatever that they came here for. And now we are mixing it with Indoni with entertainment because we said, okay, later on it should be Indoni e-land more of after party whereby there will be networking. So what I'm asking from you guys, too, are you guys able to help us ukuthi nismentorishe for advertising, because you already have people in your space. So because in order for us to get to those people, you need ukuthi uphume out there with abantu who are relevant, abantu who already have followers, so that sikwazi bas babeke ku space C1 and get sponsors. Because in order for us to get sponsors, this thing possible, it's reporting for people just to come or to, okay, then after that, what are we benefiting about this that we are doing? Okay, do pitches so that thing kube someone who's benefiting from the one that we are doing today. So each and every time that we're doing this, so that they can come, okay, bangabi board, we need to get sponsors and stuff. So I believe if I have you in my corner, I'll be able to go and say to the sponsor, okay, I have DJ Sbu, I have Ubulelan who's been pushing this. I have DJ Sbu who's doing the inside. They've got the main, we've got the same goal. Okay, we've got the same goal. Let us see push. So it's not a question A1. It's about the questions.
Thank you. And congratulations with what you're already doing. I think Mina Nobulelan, we don't have a problem. Mabuning is around the corner. We can come anytime, sure. Outside of this, when we're done, just exchange contacts. Bulelani can share a lot of ideas on also. Till today, I mean, everybody struggles with getting sponsorship. I mean, because he's Bulelani. It depends also with what you're offering and what you're doing. But Mina, over the years, what I've learned is start. If you're already doing it, it's great. Invite us and give us the date. And if we're available, we don't even have to charge you. We'll come, And then it starts like that, and then it just keeps going, and that's how you'll get to attract sponsors at some point. But just start. Just start, keep doing it. Let it not rely too much on sponsors. Keep doing it. As sponsors come, make it become like some sort of a bonus that they're there, because that's what you want. But let not your thing rely on sponsors, because you can never know when are they going to come. Then you'll wait forever. Just keep doing your thing. Just keep doing your thing. If it's your passion, it's what you love, it's what you do once a month, or it's once every weekend, you invite us, we'll come through. And it resonates with entrepreneurship and giving back. I mean, it's a simple thing to do. We'll definitely would love to come through. I don't think Bulelani will say no.
Dumela.
Dumelang le kae?
Okay, I'd like to thank DJ Sbu, Netbank, and T for giving us this opportunity, because we do get inspired, by watching your podcast. Okay, by watching your podcast, we get inspired, and also your podcast also inspires me. So my question is about how do we turn our followers into clients? Because currently I think you have 100K subscribers on YouTube, but 100 paying members. So how do you leverage your subscribers into members? That's my question. Okay,
do you mean on a specific channel like YouTube, or you mean just across social media?
Maybe Facebook, Facebook.
Facebook. Okay, it depends. I monetize my following through selling products. I sell events, I sell books, I sell products. But in terms of the technology or the platform pays us. Facebook pays us. Facebook pays us every quarter. They pay us every 2 or 3 months? Yeah, Facebook pays us. For the engagements that you get, the views that you get on the videos that you post. You guys have seen that other people also make themselves, like I can pretend I'm Bonang on Facebook. But over time, have you seen? Postang din so. And but I feel they're doing that because there's people like that, and those are hustlers. Okay, maybe let me not say they're hustlers. Maybe it's somewhere go Barking, go Lagos. Only the pages about Bonang say 19, it's about DJ Spoot say 7, it's about Nomzamo say 8, it's about the bar, I'll take the phone, little left. There's people who are hustling these platforms as well. Because these platforms pay. YouTube pays, TikTok pays, Facebook pays. I don't know about Instagram. Now I'm talking about the actual platforms. They pay for content. So YouTube will pay you for the number of videos. So they'll pay you something they'll call CPM. So they'll pay you a certain amount of money per 1,000 views that you get. So I'll make you an example. Currently on our podcast, we've got a podcast on YouTube called The Hustler's Corner. Currently our CPM is $6. $6 is what we get per views that we get for every video. Now you're gonna go calculate how many views we're getting. So that's what they'll pay for. So other videos will become 100,000 views, other videos will become 50,000 views, another one 10,000 views, another one 500,000 views or whatever. So they pay that amount of money per every 1,000 views that you get. So that's just YouTube. But then apart from that, then you have to sell your own merchandise. Utilize the fact that you've got a platform to then galvanize your audience, to either come to your events, or to either go buy your merchandise, or to either go buy your products, do you know what I mean, type of thing. Or you have a net bank coming on board and saying, Bulelani, we love your podcast. Actually, we don't only want to participate on your podcast, we also want a 360 situation what you're doing. We want to be visible physically with the people, the events that you're doing. We also want to be sponsors on your podcast. We also want to, and this is our budget that we have, maybe for the next 6 months or for the next 12 months. It depends on also how you negotiate using those platforms. So yes, the platforms pay. Find a way and to utilize it. Other people have used their followers to become influencers. Other people told her about to post and snacks, man. But post and snacks for a certain while. And then the account is now big. And then all of a sudden, then they delete all those photos when they were bites and snacks. Now all of a sudden, motor sets are transforming, sets are apparently to have reformed. And that's a hustle. You know, to each their own. People hustle in their own way. But platforms do pay. You can also use the platforms to grow your own brand. Eventually you become an influencer, or if you're a DJ, eventually become, or if you're pushing a product like me, I've used my following to grow my product. So yeah, that's how you can, but there's other ways. TikTok pays, you rally your followers to give you gifts that can be changed into money. You know, there's different ways. Just go and do some research. There's a lot of money to be made. By the way, there's a lot of money to be made online, guys. There's a lot of money online. Even people who are gifted in things, like you're so gifted in something that people are always asking you to teach them. Why don't you go create a virtual course? You know what I mean? Like now I can sell. It's just that I have not done it yet. I can go create a virtual course. Or I can turn my current book, my last book, The Art of Selling, into a sales course. Like, because I know there's a market for that. A lot of people want to know how to know. They want to know how to sell. And I know how to sell. I can sell. I've written a book how to sell. Maybe now is to turn that book. Yes, I've turned it into an audio book, but I can also turn it into a course and maybe just sell it for $9.99 or for $1 or for $10. And then I can sell as many as I want because people want to learn from me. People maybe want to learn from you. Maybe blind got the brick fall. Shoot video. Yes, yes. Guys, don't laugh. American kids and European kids all over the world on YouTube khona abantu abayenza izinto ezisnacks. Thina lezi uyakhumbula uVista. Bona ukuthi usikhuza inyuke ebhaya kanjani ngokuba i-comedian. There is nothing different Skumba is doing from what Vista has been doing at YFM. Skumba was smart enough to turn it into a career. Vista, he didn't want, I don't know the reason, but he didn't decide to do shows and become a comedian. He didn't do it. You understand? But Beslanza ne radio ne YFM uyalakhisa uVista. uVista nangambeka la singalaga an entire hour. He can do that if he wants to and have a career as a comedian. You know what I mean? uVista beslaga. But he never made a lot of money out of it from that aspect. How he made money out of it, he created a brand called Equal. You know? So Puma ukuthi wenzani nga riding. Ukushaya mak pre-fall ungakushuta kuba ama video i12 or kuba ama video i24 or i48 ama segment washoot right and then uyakhuluma ku camera. Welcome to my whatever. Brick fall my wishaya. It's true. What that's how you make money. The most guys, the things that you guys don't take in about whatever Rona we've been wired to think to make money, I must go work hard. There's a guy here a massive metro. This guy heals us. Lomundi nyang, amaragasi nyang. He heals people for free. No, yes, oh, oh, isn't okay. He heals people. Even during COVID, he heals people, but he doesn't charge anyone. He doesn't call himself. I'm like, when are you still thinking? Yona lento lo yenza mahala yiye kumele iyenze millionaire angazi ukuthi niyangithola na so ningangihleki nangithi ungachintsha ukushaya ama brick fall enza inyuku ngawo ngiyakutshela guys there was once a guy in this country called Mzekezeke nini ndaba nilahlile nina sometimes guys chelete ke ngata and it's easy to make money and it's not the most sophisticated things. It's because we must have degrees or no, guys. It goes back to that joke when I was saying earlier on. It's titi nemal. Akasi titi lo umuntu uhlakaniphile because uyakwazi ukwenza imali. Ukwenza imali akusi complicated, guys. It's just no, imali ibhaya imali. Simplest thing yenza imali. Anyway, it's a story for another day. Continue, my sister. Sorry.
Sanbonan, libito la ka kena ledine, and yeah, I get la thata mo strateng mara the streets know me. So I always say hore, we root for the burbs, but then the ghetto is what made us. But then into elong hore, I have a concern actually. We're promoting this black business thing, and bawushuguti says babaning or sbaning. But then there's this mentality as a promoter of footy, because we don't attend to people about small businesses. There's laziness there. I know that because I'm a black business owner myself, but then I need a responsibility. So I don't know if it's a concern or a question, but then maybe you'll address it when I'm done. How do we get rid of that laziness and how do we spot people who are not serious about their work? Thank you so much.
Congratulations, my sister, and congratulations for being a business person. And it's not only laziness, it's a lot of things, right? But how we stop it is what I was saying earlier, not external, but internal. How you stop it is by not being lazy yourself. I don't know if I've answered your question. That's how you stop it. If you're not lazy, you become somebody that hurl around when whether we like it or not, somehow when you're around your aura, when we're around your energy, we're going to be inspired. We're going to want to be like you. Now that's how I am. So if I'm in my, at our factory there, we are talking to the staff or whatever, they know, hey, there's some who say, but Rona, we can't do it like you. And there's others who are like, no, I do it better. I even sell better than him, you know? Because others are like, no, he sells, no. Others are like, no, you know? And they sell better than me. Why? Because they're always around and they're seeing me do it. And I'm like them. And just how I am and that aura just inspires everybody else. Because once you start being different from everybody else and you start looking internally, you change yourself. Once you change yourself, you get out of this entire group of people, you know? You know, and once you stand out because you are not lazy. And we want to, somehow, even if we don't want to be like you, whether we like it or not, somehow, I mean, look at you even today, how you look. You know, you're on point. I mean, you are, so I think that's how you solve it, by not being a part of the problem, by being different from everybody else. And choosing to go the other way, which will benefit you in the future. And then in that sort of way, that's how you become an inspiration. He chose to do this. By the way, did he tell you guys that he didn't have matric? Do you guys know he doesn't have matric? Do you have it now? Who cares, pa? You've never told them. He doesn't have matric, this man. Marabonu nenzeleni. Nenzela umuntu ongana matric into so. Ngoba nibhizi nama degree wenu. Ni lazy. So because he knew his strength or his strengths, that's what he capitalized on. He didn't sit back and say, hey, this country this, hey, this country that, hey, this government this. Look at his beautiful babies. Look at his house. Look at his car. Look at what he's doing for the community. Akana ne metric. Niseto umuntu ongana ne metric. Because let's set an example. Stand out. That's what he did. He stood out from the crowd, and he said, "This is what I do, and I'm gonna go pursue it." He's doing it. Sorry, Mfana, I didn't want to. I hope I did not shambalaza on a metric. Mhlambe sekukhona nabo siso the kubo mayise ngokujampisela ukuthi kanti umntwana ana metric kanti ana metric ka ufela le batho ba bana le di MBA remo ka lebaka la mtho sinang metric.
Hi Sbu, my name is Buli.
Yes,
I met you a very long time ago through my brother, who I think was also on your case, trying to hassle and probably irritating you about helping him and stuff like that. But I don't really have a question. I just wanted to say thank you for just being an inspiration to so many people. I think, you know, what you're doing, being able to pivot into your purpose, something that's gonna outlive even you, is just so fantastic. Even us sitting in corporate, you inspire us. You inspire us to be, you know, to ground, to live out our purpose, to shake things up, even within the corporate space. So thank you so much for that. And perhaps just a silly question, which you alluded to earlier. I mean, amongst a group of friends, uba numzegezege.
Thank you very much for the humbling words. I'm humbled. And please pass my regards to your brother. It really means a lot. And yes, there's a lot of black, by the way, guys, these companies that are so big, that inspire all of us, that are multinationals, and some of them that we look at today and we admire them. A lot of them are ran by Batbabansu. There's a lot of Batbabansu that run those companies. It's actually Batbabansu majority. And for me, it always says, how wired differently. But anyway, there's a lot of black people that are doing great work in corporate South Africa. A lot of them have even become entrepreneurs in their own rights, and they're building. But to answer your question, there was a song, I remember it was many years ago. It says, Uba, numzegeze, ooh, you know? You know, and when we asked them one day, and we said, what the concept of the song, like, and the music video has got Obama, Mandela, Julius Malema, Jacob Zuma. The concept of it is, umuntu bengakhuluma isilungu esithe xaxa. Bokungasumuntu ongazuthi ugcoka namasudu, ongazuthi umuntu mhlawumbe odivile ngathi they look. He's an ordinary person. You know, ulo mama oklinayo ngeoverall, you know? And I always look at EFF, I'm like, definitely EFF, somehow they're inspired by Mzegeze, whether they like it or not, right? And it's beautiful because it's a concept of representing the ordinary worker, the ordinary person in the street. Mzegeze succeeded in the music industry. He didn't go to music schools. He didn't come out as somebody who looks whichever way. He didn't even speak any good English, but he succeeded. And if you look at it and you internalize it, you're like, wow, that is so brilliant, because if it means Umzegezege, it means Nama can do all the great things that Umzegezege has done. Nam, it means I can put on my overall and be my best me and go ngiyobangena. And I guess that's what all of this is all about. I guess that's why even Nedbank is a part of this. Township Entrepreneurs Alliance. It's not just entrepreneurs in Santin. And big up to your team, by the way. It's rallying that entrepreneurship culture in our townships. Yes, you're right, my sister. There's a lot of mistakes that we still have to work on as small businesses. We all start small, we all start there, but still, we have to provide the professionalism at its highest level. We have to provide, guys, we have to operate on our highest level, man. Customer service it must be on its A game. Your product must be on its A game. Yes, it's not maybe the type of product that you will have one day when you've got money. You'll keep evolving it. Keep on getting better. You'll keep upgrading it and facelifting it. Ne BM ya manje akusi BM le ya 10 years ago. Ne Porsche manje akusi le Porsche ya 20 years ago. They keep uplifting, but in facelifting it or making it better. It's the same jengawe. Not our products. You have to keep but the service and that excellence. Guys, we're talking about excellence. You know, Osputi Mahanyele Dabengo says, you have to be great in every little thing that you do. From typing that email, from greeting uma old lady lotlinayo lapana,